Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. A state of emergency in the Carolinas as wildfires race through both states. Israel cuts off all aid to Gaza while sending a new warning to Hamas. The emergency summit in the UK over Ukraine. And our Oscar preview from the red carpet. First, the wildfires. South Carolina's governor declaring a state of emergency. This blaze near Myrtle Beach doubling in size overnight. Evacuations ordered in both North and South Carolina. Thick smoke making driving difficult when they might see some relief. The new cross-country storm raising the fire risk in the southwest and possible tornadoes farther east. How this could impact Mardi Gras, our weather team timing it all out. The situation in Gaza growing more tense. Israel stops all shipments into the territory as major differences emerge on how to move forward with the ceasefire. 2 days after the Oval Office blow-up, Ukraine's President Zelensky meets with NATO and European leaders. The U.S. not attending the London meeting. What the UK and France are doing to stop the fighting in Ukraine. Federal workers face a new Monday deadline. Elon Musk and Doge now threatening to fire anyone who ignores a second email demanding they justify their jobs. Thousands of workers already pushed out. Could foreign countries try to take advantage of disgruntled federal workers? The touching tribute in Washington. U.S. figure skating honors the victims of the deadly midair crash over the Potomac. History on the moon, a flawless touchdown for Blue Ghost, the private company landing on the moon without crashing or falling over, the experiments that could help future astronauts. And countdown to the 97th Academy Awards. Will Timothée Chalamet become the youngest to win Best Actor? Will Demi Moore win for the first time in her 4-decade-long career? Lindsay Davis and Whit Johnson join us from the red carpet.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Rachel Scott in for Lindsay Davis. The countdown to the Oscars begins. We will have more from the red carpet in just a moment, but we do begin tonight with the wildfires burning in the Carolinas. As we come on the air, hundreds of first responders are battling the flames. The governor of South Carolina has now declared a state of emergency. A fire burning near Myrtle Beach doubling in size overnight, 0% contained, threatening homes and forcing evacuations. And massive plumes of smoke can be seen for miles. Fire teams taking to the skies, helicopters and planes helping to douse the flames. More than 30 agencies now involved. Officials say more than 100 fires were ignited this weekend alone. ABC's Stephanie Ramos leads us off from the fire zone.
Tonight, urgent evacuation orders in effect in the Carolinas after multiple brush and wildfires erupted, threatening homes and businesses. The Carolina forest fire near Myrtle Beach doubling in size overnight to 1,200 acres and still 0% contained. More than 30 agencies and 400 personnel supporting the firefighting effort. South Carolina's governor today declaring a state of emergency. The inferno sending a massive smoke plume drifting into the sky. Officials warning of low visibility driving conditions. Air support conducting water drops to combat the flames. Carolina Forest resident Barbara Ginta telling us she first saw the flames Saturday afternoon, and then it got worse.
So that wind is what started it, and start one fire and just kept going and going and going, just catching everywhere, like all the woods behind us.
And how close did you see those flames? How
right
close
here,
did it get?
right there, right there. See, right there, that's when I woke up this morning.
With much of the southeast in moderate drought, dry and windy conditions fueling the fast-moving fires. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, prompting the South Carolina Forestry Commission to issue a statewide burn ban.
You can see these brush fires continuing to burn.
This fire in Tryon, North Carolina, forcing evacuations. Residents saying the effects could be felt for miles.
Oh, you could smell the smoke all the way in Columbus.
And there's still a lot of smoke here in this area here in Myrtle Beach as the fire continues to burn. Fire crews are spread out across this area. South Carolina officials say fortunately no one has been injured, and while structures have been damaged, none have been fully destroyed. Thankfully, the winds are expected to die down as we head into the week. Rachel.
That will be some much needed relief. All right, Stephanie, thank you. And as you said, the winds are dying down in the south, but now all eyes are now turning to a powerful cross-country storm sweeping the east. Meteorologist Danny Beckstrom from our station WABC here in New York joins us. Danny, time this one out for us.
Rachel, this next storm system has the potential to bring high-impact weather from coast to coast over the course of several days this week. I mean, just look at all the alerts already posted, stretching from California to the Gulf Coast. So timing this out into Monday, the heavy snow and strong wind could bring whiteout conditions to Colorado and Nebraska. Then critical fire danger focuses in on cities like Albuquerque and El Paso, where wind can fuel new, fast-moving wildfires. The severe thunderstorm threat really ramps up into Tuesday with damaging wind gusts, hail, tornadoes, all possible from Texas to Alabama. And in New Orleans, it's not just those storms, but strong damaging wind gusts throughout the day. That could impact Mardi Gras festivities into Tuesday night. Anyone in the danger zone, Rachel, needs to keep a really close eye on the forecast.
Danny, thank you. We turn overseas today. World leaders gathering in London to show support for Ukraine after that dramatic meeting in the Oval Office. President Zelensky joined NATO and EU representatives. The British Prime Minister calling this a once-in-a-generation moment for the region. Zelensky later meeting with King Charles. ABC's foreign correspondent Tom Sophie Burge is in London.
Tonight, European leaders alongside Ukrainian President Zelensky gathering in London for a high-stakes emergency summit on Ukraine.
Can you patch things up with Donald Trump?
The US notably absent following Zelensky's fiery Oval Office meeting with President Trump and Vice President Vance Friday.
You're gambling with World War III.
The UK and France front and centre, agreeing to negotiate a peace proposal that would include the deployment of troops and planes to Ukraine to police a potential ceasefire. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer saying the US needs to somehow back the plan to prevent Russia from re-attacking Ukraine.
Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing.
Well, Ukrainian President Zelensky is now leaving the summit amid questions about whether he can rebuild his relationship with Donald Trump. For now, though, Zelensky is off to meet the king.
It was all smiles and handshakes when Zelensky met with King Charles. But in Washington, a different tune. Today, House Speaker Mike Johnson saying Zelensky must change or resign.
Well, something has to change. Either he needs to come to his senses and come back to the table in gratitude, or someone else needs to lead the country to do that.
And Rachel, I asked the head of NATO today whether the US will commit to future security guarantees for Ukraine. He said that key conversation is still ongoing. Rachel?
Yeah, so some big questions there. Tom, thank you. Staying overseas, Israel has stopped the flow of all supplies into Gaza, including much-needed aid. The border crossing between Israel and the Gaza Strip all but deserted. And tonight, Israel warning of more consequences if Hamas does not accept a new deal extending the ceasefire. Here's ABC's Inez de la Catera.
In an attempt to pressure Hamas to accept a new U.S. proposal to extend phase 1 of the ceasefire that expired just 24 hours ago, tonight Israel says they've halted the entry of all goods into Gaza. Rows of trucks with desperately needed humanitarian supplies and fuel now blocked at Egypt's Rafah border crossing. Israel says the decision has President Trump's backing, Hamas calling it cheap blackmail on this second day of Ramadan. Hamas rejecting the U.S. deal, instead pushing for phase 2 to get underway, as initially negotiated 6 weeks ago. Phase 2 would see the release of all living hostages in exchange for the full withdrawal of all IDF troops from Gaza, which Israel has yet to commit to.
We were supposed to be hearing all about the second phase, and now Israel and Hamas and the mediators are planning to bring all the hostages back.
Without elaborating, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying if Hamas continue to refuse, there will be consequences, threatening to resume the war if negotiations are ineffective. As Palestinians in Rafah gathered amid the ruins to share a fast-breaking meal, millions having just returned home, now unsure of what comes next.
And Rachel, Israel believes there are still 24 living hostages in Gaza, including American Idon Alexander. Their fate and the fate of 2 million Palestinians now hanging in the balance. Rachel?
Inez, thank you. And back here at home, more than 2 million federal workers have until tomorrow to reply to another email instructing them to list 5 things they accomplished in the last week. And tonight we're learning the Department of Education is offering employees thousands of dollars to leave their jobs now ahead of layoffs. ABC News' senior White House correspondent Selena Wang has the latest.
Tonight, another looming deadline for federal workers as agencies prepare plans for large-scale layoffs. Billionaire Elon Musk threatening to fire government employees who don't respond to a second email demanding they justify their jobs by Monday night. Musk writing on X, the president has made it clear that this is mandatory for the executive branch. The email from the Office of Personnel Management saying it's now a weekly requirement to list 5 tasks they completed in the last week. Secretary of Defense Hegseth telling civilian workers to comply.
It's a simple task. Really, as Elon said, as the president recognized in our first cabinet meeting, just a pulse check. Are you there?
But other federal agencies giving different and conflicting guidance to their staffers about whether and how to respond, only adding to the chaos, confusion, and panic. Musk claiming he's just cutting waste.
I thought it would be bad, but I did not think it would be as bad as this. Look, the good news is that it's a target-rich environment for saving money.
This veteran currently working for the Army Corps of Engineers tells me he's already on the hunt for a new job.
It's almost like a slap in the face. Like, we don't even matter. We don't count.
Are you worried that all these changes could impact our country's military readiness?
Definitely.
And tonight, a real concern within the intelligence community that foreign adversaries, including Russia and China, could target the growing ranks of recently fired federal employees for recruitment.
It's not difficult for a foreign spy service to find a target for recruitment. They just simply have to go online and look at the postings of people who've recently been fired, who are angry, and who are in need of money.
And let's get right to Selena Wang. She joins us now live from the White House. Selena, it's another busy week ahead. The president will be addressing a joint session of Congress. What more can we expect?
Well, Rachel, something to watch for is how President Trump addresses the economy. He had campaigned on lowering prices for Americans, but right now, grocery prices are high, and economists warn that Trump's tariff plan will raise costs for Americans. In fact, also on Tuesday, Trump's tariffs on imports from China, Canada, and Mexico are expected to go into effect. Rachel?
All right, Selena, thank you. And ABC News will have live special coverage of the president's joint address to Congress and the Democratic response. I'll be joining David, Lindsay, and the rest of our powerhouse political team live from Washington Tuesday night, starting at 9 p.m. right here on ABC. We turn now to the countdown to the 97th Oscars. The festivities just moments away. The stars were out this weekend rehearsing their roles. Andrew Garfield, Goldie Hawn, Oprah, and Whoopi, and last year's supporting actress winner, Da'Vine Joy Randolph. Our own Lindsay Davis and Whit Johnson are on the red carpet tonight as the stars arrive.
Rachel, the excitement is building here on the red carpet, and we're told there are some surprises in store, including incredible performances with wicked duo Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo.
And there are also tributes planned for the late Quincy Jones. That will be part of the memoriam segment. And as well, two-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman, who, of course, recently passed away with his wife. He'll be remembered also.
And tonight's awards are taking place in the wake of the deadly wildfires that devastated parts of Los Angeles. The show expected to celebrate the city's resilience and honor the first responders who fought bravely. So, Lindsay, what are you most looking forward to today?
I think, as we've been joking, it's a complete unknown as far as who's going to win for Best Picture.